Goliath from the Bible. Yes. So let's get started. A long, long time ago, there lived the Israelites and the Philistines. The Israelites and the Philistines were enemies, so they had to fight in a war, in a battle.
And in that time, there lived a boy named David.
David had 7 brothers. David's 7 brothers were so much more older than him, so they were allowed to, and they had to go and fight for the Israelites team, because David's family was Israelite, against the Philistines.
Yes.
David was too young, on the other hand, so he had to be a shepherd for his father, Jesse, at home.
So one day, David's father, Jesse, told David to give him some food to his brothers. So David said, okay, and he went with a slingshot and took the food and went on a journey to give the food to his brothers. So then when he gave the food to the brothers, the brothers told David about the giant.
So David, he goes to his brother's camp where they are situated to fight against the Philistines, because the brothers are on the Israelites team, and the brothers tell David about a giant named Goliath that the Philistines have, and they've been taunting the Israelites with.
He was 9 feet tall. 9 feet tall! What?
Oh my gosh, 9 feet tall? I mean, that's super tall. I mean, that guy is a giant, okay? The Philistines showed the Israelites that they had the giant, and the Israelites were shivering. They were super scared.
Like, imagine, like, if it was 9 feet tall, like, right after your door,
Yeah.
like, wouldn't you be scared? Like,
Yeah, the entire army was basically puny in front of that giant. They were tiny ants, basically. But when David heard of the news, he said, you know what? I have God with me. So guess what? Even if none of you in Israel's army want to fight, I will fight for Israel. I will fight against the giant, the Philistine giant. Yes. So David's trust was really with God, who is bigger than the giant that the Philistines had. That was his trust, his belief. So with that being said, David went to Israel's king at the time, King Saul, to tell him that he was gonna fight the giant.
and then King Saul was like, are you sure? You're too little, and he is 9 feet tall.
Exactly.
I don't think it's a good idea.
But anyway, King Saul didn't have much hope because no one else was gonna fight it. So he said, well, he finally agreed to let David fight the giant. So King Saul takes his armor and he hands it over to David. David takes the armor and wears it, but it's so heavy that David can't even walk in the armor. Exactly. But David says, you know, it's okay. I don't need armor. I have God with me. I have a slingshot which I've been using to fight off wolves from my father's sheep, and I have the pebbles. I'll go right as I am. So finally, David goes to the battlefield.
And he took the slingshot, he whooped it, and he shook it, and he threw it at the giant, and then the pebble flew like, and right on his forehead, breaking his skull. And he was like, oh no, and he fell down. And then David took.
But did you want to know the giant's reaction at the time? So when David actually reached the battlefield, Goliath laughed. Goliath was like, you can't do this. Exactly.
No, man.
Exactly. So he was laughing and he was just in hysterics. He was like, "Oh, you're a little boy. You don't even have."
David beats that 9 feet giant.
Exactly. Like Goliath, through all his overconfidence, he thinks, "Oh well, you're not even half your brother's size. Do you think you're gonna fight me?" But at the end, even when David swings his slingshot into the giant's head, like Josh just explained, that pebble that David picked out and that hope he had in his heart, it really helped to beat it into that giant's forehead, and of course correct aim, and the giant, the Goliath, he
literally collapsed.
Yeah, and well, that's how David won victory.
And don't forget, David took Goliath's sword and he cut Goliath's head off, and he was good.
He was finished.
Good.
He passed away.
His life was done.
Right. So, moral of the story at the end. My conclusion is, you see how David, no matter how small he was compared to every one of the soldier in the Israelites' army, he's still strong. And guess what? He was the youngest. I want to tell you that no matter how young you are, no matter your age, no matter how small you are compared to others,
you can change the world.
Exactly. You can change the world. Don't let anyone tell you otherwise. People are going to laugh at you. People are going to tell you, you can't do it. Look at you. But you must not fear, because you always have God by your side. That's exactly what David did. David was a small kid like you and me and Josh here, but he never gave up. He just went on with his skill and his gifts, his abilities, and he did it. He fought off a big giant that the Israelites were so afraid to fight. So remember, kids, have heart. No matter how young you are, you're able to change the world.
Be the one that can change the world.
Yes.
The wise man said that.
That's exactly what we learned from the story of David and Goliath. That's why we love it so much. So, Josh, what about your conclusion?
What I think of the moral of the story is to always have hope, faith, and know that God is always with you. Wherever you are and whatever you are, I know that God is with you and He will take care of you, and then you just gotta have hope. Whatever you want, whatever you need, whatever the things you want during this time, just have hope, and you will have it.
Okay, excellent. So now that you've heard the story and our moral,
so thanks for watching this video. Hope you like, subscribe, and share, and don't forget to ring the bell. We hope you liked it. It was really fun for us too.
yeah.
And hope you live safe, always have hope, remember, and
Like I said, like you just said, always keep this moral in mind. I hope you enjoyed, and like, share.